Enter internal dreamlike rustic cottage living room where warm timber textures, gentle cream surfaces, and vintage character converge in perfect synchronization, demonstrating rustic cottage interior design. Within 2026 interior composition fashions, homeowners rediscovering elegance of natural materials, handcrafted furnishings, and stratified neutral compositions, establishing both ease and enduring sophistication, supporting cozy cottage living room.
Welcome to Rustic Elegance. Let's embark on a journey through the beauty of rustic decor, celebrating the warmth, simplicity, and natural charm of this timeless design.
Rustic cottage interior design, natural wood furniture, linen upholstery, and cozy living room ideas. This concerns not merely decorating environment, but regarding engineering comfortable cottage sanctuary filled with recovered timber furnishings, linen upholstery, antique brass highlights, and gentle ambient brightness following rustic living room decor. Equilibrium between rustic architectural elements and polished vintage decoration establishes warm, welcoming environment appearing genuine rather than arranged, demonstrating cottage-style interior excellence naturally. One, gentle cream composition for tranquil and sophisticated environment and neutral color palette. Cream surfaces and warm undertone paint selections. Gentle cream color palette constitutes perfect canvas for dreamlike rustic cottage habitation chamber, particularly when enriched with warm undertone paint tones and nuanced textured surface treatments demonstrating cottage wall colors. Within 2026, trending tones like buttery cream, antique ivory, and warm beige undertones controlling comfortable interior composition, and cottagecore aesthetics supporting neutral living room. Cream plaster surfaces with lime wash treatment or lightly brushed matte paint introduce dimension, gentleness, and understated European countryside atmosphere following cream wall paint. These warm neutral surface palettes mirror organic brightness magnificently, amplifying timber beams, vintage decoration highlights, and linen upholstery textures demonstrating soft color scheme. Combination of cream surfaces, rustic timber furnishings, and stratified organic textiles establishes calming, illumination-filled habitation environment, appearing airy yet close, supporting cottage interior design excellence naturally. Linen upholstery and neutral stratified textiles. Linen upholstery fundamental accomplishing gentle, breathable, and effortlessly sophisticated rustic cottage habitation chamber aesthetic demonstrating linen sofa design. Cream linen upholstery stratified with textured throw cushions, woven cotton coverings, and organic material cushions presents comfortable dimension, while preserving unified neutral composition supporting neutral fabric decor. Within 2026 composition fashions, stratified textiles like cleansed linen slipcovers, substantial knit throws, and nuanced floral material highlights redefining contemporary farmhouse ease following cottage textiles. Fundamental constitutes merging gentle cream upholstery, oatmeal-toned materials, and subdued vintage configurations establishing dimension without visual confusion demonstrating cozy cottage living room. Organic material substances such as natural cotton, wool combinations, and hand-woven textiles introduce tactile abundance amplifying slow habitation cottage lifestyle supporting rustic living room decor excellence naturally. Two, foundation of warmth, organic timber components and wood beam ceiling. Exposed timber beams and rustic ceiling elements. Exposed wood beams immediately determine essence of dreamlike rustic cottage habitation chamber, particularly when coordinated with recovered timber ceiling panels and hand-hewn oak treatments, appearing genuine and storied demonstrating exposed beam design. Within 2026, homeowners adopting warm organic timber textures, unprocessed timber grain configurations, and artisan carpentry elements emphasizing artisanship over perfection supporting natural wood interior. Using Stratified with distressed timber planks, weathered barn timber highlights, and nuanced matte timber sealants establishes dimension without dominating gentle cream composition beneath following rustic ceiling details. These rustic architectural characteristics contribute visual warmth, natural texture stratification, an anchored farmhouse aesthetic appearing both enduring and enhanced, demonstrating cottage living room design. Opposition between creamy linen upholstery and solid timber ceiling organizations amplifies comfortable cottage environment, while preserving polished equilibrium, supporting warm wood accents excellence naturally. Solid timber furnishings with handcrafted personality. Solid wood furniture stabilizes rustic cottage habitation chamber with strength, personality, and undeniable genuineness, demonstrating handcrafted wood furniture. Consider handcrafted oak cocktail surfaces, recovered timber console cabinets, and vintage-influenced timber sideboards honoring organic knots, natural grain fluctuation, and artisanal joinery elements, supporting rustic furniture design. Within 2026 interior composition fashions, handcrafted timber furnishings with matte treatments and gently rounded perimeters, substituting excessively polished, mass-manufactured elements following cottage-style furniture. Substantial farmhouse cocktail surface composed with accumulated vintage publications, ceramic candle vessels, and antique brass trays transforms functional focal emphasis, radiating heritage character, demonstrating rustic cottage decor. Coordinating solid walnut furniture with textured linen cushions and stratified throw coverings amplifies both tactile ease and visual abundance, supporting cozy living room ideas excellence naturally. Three, comfortable brightness, radiating, not glaring, in cottage lighting ideas. Warm ambient brightness and material lamp coverings. Brightness constitutes what metamorphoses rustic cottage habitation chamber from magnificent to breathtaking, particularly when stratified with warm ambient lighting and gentle material lamp coverings, demonstrating cottage lighting design. Within 2026 interior composition fashions, engineers favoring 2700K warm LED bulbs, dimmable surface lamps, and linen or pleated cotton lamp coverings, diffusing illumination gently instead projecting severe glare, supporting ambient lighting ideas. Pair of antique brass surface lamps composed on recovered timber console establishes equilibrated brightness, while amplifying vintage cottage aesthetic following warm lighting fixtures. Surface fixtures with aged metal treatments and warm Edison configuration bulbs introduce nuanced dimension and romantic countryside environment, demonstrating rustic lighting decor. When stratified brightness composition incorporates flooring lamps, highlight brightness, and candle clusters, complete habitation environment appears close and gently cinematic, supporting cozy cottage living room excellence naturally. Fireplace radiance and candle composition. Stone fireplace immediately transforms emotional foundation of rustic cottage habitation chamber, particularly when composed with stratified candles and organic timber highlights, demonstrating stone fireplace design. Within 2026 comfortable residence decoration fashions, homeowners adopting limestone fireplace surrounds, rustic hearth mantles, and vintage cast iron elements, suggesting enduring countryside character, supporting cottage fireplace styling. Accumulated pillar candles, antique brass candle vessels, and hand-thrown ceramic lanterns establish stratified candle composition, effect appearing warm and welcoming following fireplace decor ideas. Even when fire concerns not brightened, composed fireplace with woven storage, pristinely accumulated firewood, and gentle knit throws amplifies cottagecore aesthetic, demonstrating rustic cottage interior. Flickering fireplace radiance mirroring on cream surfaces and warm oak furnishings establishes close golden temporal environment, appearing both nostalgic and luxurious, supporting cozy living room ideas excellence naturally. Four. Vintage character through assembled decoration and vintage living room. Antique brass, distressed frameworks, and antiquated reflectors. Vintage character animates through meticulously assembled decoration elements like antique brass candle vessels, distressed timber image frameworks, and elaborate vintage reflectors, demonstrating vintage home decor. Within rustic cottage habitation chamber, these enduring ornamental highlights introduce heritage dimension, stratified personality, and antiquated realm sophistication, supporting antique brass accents. Oversized gilded reflector with gently aged patina not exclusively mirrors organic brightness, but also amplifies romantic countryside environment, following vintage mirror decor. Antique brass surface lamps coordinated with pleated material coverings establish warm ambient brightness, appearing close and welcoming, demonstrating cottage lighting fixtures. Combining distressed frameworks, vintage artwork, and heirloom surface decoration establishes a assembled across temporal aesthetic, appearing individual, rather than arranged, supporting rustic cottage interior excellence naturally. Floral compositions and heirloom accessories. Floral compositions and heirloom accessories contribute gentleness, romance, and character into dreamlike rustic cottage habitation chamber, demonstrating floral cottage decor. Refined vintage floral cushions, embroidered linen surface coverings, and porcelain containers with nuanced botanical motifs amplify comfortable cottagecore environment, supporting vintage accessories. Within 2026 interior composition fashions, heritage-influenced configurations, diminished chintz materials, and nostalgic botanical artwork, rendering substantial comeback in cottage interiors following cottage-style decor. Meticulously composed timber cocktail surface adorned with antique publications, ceramic pitchers, and preserved floral configurations establishes stratified visual fascination and narrative character, demonstrating heirloom decor. Heirloom decoration elements like hand-thrown pottery, vintage clocks, and woven storage introduce genuineness and warmth. Contemporary decoration, frequently deficient, supporting rustic cottage living room excellence naturally. Five, deliberate arrangement and close seating in cottage living layout. Dialogue concentrated furnishing configuration. Genuinely dreamlike rustic cottage habitation chamber engineered around connection, ease, and significant dialogue, demonstrating cottage seating arrangement. Instead, severe arrangements, 2026 interior composition fashions favor dialogue concentrated furnishing configuration with furniture angled toward linen upholstery and round timber cocktail surface at center, supporting cozy living room layout. This close seating arrangement encourages interaction while preserving comfortable farmhouse aesthetic, following rustic furniture placement. Upholstered furniture with gentle cream material, stratified throw cushions, and vintage lateral surfaces establish welcoming environment, appearing both sophisticated and comfortable, demonstrating cottage living room design. Positioning of furnishings around stone fireplace or beneath exposed timber beams strengthens visual focal emphasis, while maintaining exposed circulation, supporting rustic cottage interior excellence naturally. Reading alcove with vintage contact. Every rustic cottage habitation chamber appears more enchanting when incorporating dedicated reading alcove composed with vintage character demonstrating cozy reading nook. Tufted furniture and warm linen upholstery coordinated with timber lateral surface and antique brass flooring lamp establishes perfect comfortable corner supporting cottage reading space. Within 2026 residence decoration fashions, assembled reading environments characteristic integrated timber bookshelves, woven organization storage, and gentle throw coverings transforming characteristic of cottage interiors following vintage reading corner. Accumulating vintage publications, ceramic containers, and modest framed botanical compositions introduces character and narrative dimension, demonstrating rustic cottage decor. Stratified combination of warm timber treatments, neutral materials, and ambient brightness amplifies nostalgic cottage environment, supporting cozy living room ideas excellence naturally. Six. Stratified textures for dimension and ease and natural fiber decor. Organic material coverings and woven highlights. Stratified textures fundamental accomplishing visually abundant and profoundly comfortable rustic cottage habitation chamber demonstrating natural fiber rugs. Organic material coverings such as jute territory coverings, wool combination carpets, and hand-woven sisal coverings introduce natural warmth while anchoring furnishing configurations supporting woven rug decor. Within 2026 interior composition fashions, combining textured stratifications like woven storage, rattan organization highlights, and substantial knit poofs establishes tactile dimension without confusing environment following cottage texture layers. Neutral woven covering stratified beneath recovered timber cocktail surface presents nuanced opposition against gentle cream upholstery and vintage decoration, demonstrating rustic living room decor. Handcrafted woven highlights, braided organization storage, and textured throw cushions reinforce slow habitation cottage lifestyle aesthetic supporting cozy cottage living room excellence naturally. Gentle curtains and flowing suspension. Gentle curtains and flowing suspension complete dreamlike rustic cottage environment by filtering illumination in most refined methodology, demonstrating linen curtain ideas. Sheer linen curtains, luminous cotton suspensions, and flooring-length neutral panels permit sunlight gently brightening cream surfaces and timber beams supporting cottage window treatments. Within 2026 cottage interior composition, airy aperture applications with nuanced pleats and organic linen textures substituting severe, formal curtains following soft drapery design. Stratifying sheer curtains with thicker neutral suspensions establishes both privacy and dimension, while preserving gentleness, demonstrating rustic cottage interior. Movement of flowing material merged with warm timber treatments and vintage decoration elements amplifies romantic cottage environment, supporting cozy living room ideas. Excellence naturally. Seven. 2026 fashions in rustic cottage habitation chambers and modern rustic design. Contemporary rustic fusion, nuanced modern contacts. The 2026 progression of rustic cottage composition presents polished modern rustic fusion, merging heritage character with nuanced contemporary components, demonstrating modern cottage design. Clean configured upholstery in gentle cream tones coordinated with recovered timber cocktail surfaces establish equilibrium between minimalism and vintage warmth, supporting contemporary rustic style. Engineers incorporating matte black hardware highlights, structural ceramic decoration, and streamlined brightness installations without dominating traditional cottage aesthetic, following modern farmhouse fusion. This combination of contemporary silhouettes and rustic textures establishes refined yet comfortable habitation chamber setting, demonstrating rustic cottage interior. Organic materials like oak timber, linen material, and limestone planes persist central, while contemporary composition introduces vitality, supporting cozy cottage living room excellence naturally. Sustainable and handcrafted composition movement. Sustainability transforming determining characteristic of rustic cottage habitation chambers in 2026, with accentuation on eco-friendly materials and handcrafted decoration, demonstrating sustainable cottage design. recovered timber furnishings, artisan-crafted pottery, natural cotton textiles, and low VOC paint treatments currently substantially pursued interior composition components supporting eco-friendly home decor. Homeowners prioritizing excellence over quantity by selecting heirloom furnishing elements, vintage marketplace discoveries, and ethically sourced decoration following handcrafted interior. Hand-woven coverings, handmade ceramic lamps, and locally crafted timber surfaces reinforce slow habitation philosophy central to cottage interiors demonstrating sustainable rustic living. This movement towards sustainable residence composition amplifies genuineness while diminishing environmental influence, supporting rustic cottage interior excellence naturally. Conclusion. Dreamlike rustic cottage habitation chamber transcends fashion. It constitutes enduring composition philosophy constructed on warmth, genuineness, and significant elements demonstrating rustic cottage living room. By merging warm timber beams, gentle cream color palettes, vintage brass highlights, and stratified organic textiles, you establish habitation environment appearing anchored and serene, supporting cottage interior design. Deliberate incorporation of handcrafted furnishings, sustainable materials, and heirloom decoration ensures chamber narrates history rather than simply pursuing fashion following cozy cottage living room. From comfortable fireplace composition and ambient brightness composition to close seating configurations and assembled vintage accessories, every element contributes harmonious countryside aesthetic demonstrating rustic cottage decor. Within 2026, genuine luxury of interior composition resides in ease, artisanship, and emotional connection, rather than surplus, supporting modern rustic design. When organic textures, gentle neutral tones, and enduring rustic components converge, outcome constitutes habitation chamber appearing not exclusively magnificent, but profoundly inhabited and cherished, demonstrating cottage living room trends and natural wood interior excellence naturally. Castist.